Hello again. So here we are. It's a cold morning. It's a bit of a sad morning, to be completely honest. Grump is going away. We're excited about it because of all the work that's going to be happening, but that doesn't change the fact that we're going to lose the ability to use this aircraft for at least 2 months. Let's go do one last flight. We'll just go fly around a little bit. We'll spend some time with Grump before we send her on her way. Well, what are you waiting for? Get on in here. We're going to take a moment. We'll talk about the inside of this aircraft, and we'll go over some of the changes that we talked about earlier with those avionics upgrades. Anyone wondered about Chester? The Chester is the Cheetah, and if you know the joke about that, please feel free to put that inside the YouTube channel chat lines. Chester is the mascot. Chester goes with the aircraft no matter where we go flying. It is not an option. He loves to go flying. He is grumpy like me, and that's okay. But Chester's awesome. We'll talk more about him and a little bit later on. I'm in the left-hand seat right now, and as you can see, there's already a lot of pretty impressive equipment inside this airframe. First, we'll give you a little bit of an update about what all this equipment is and what does it mean. This is the airspeed indicator, the arcs, what we use to tell us when we can use the flaps at certain airspeeds. This is the turn and bank coordinator, and we use that to make what's called a controlled rate turn. Here is the mag switch. So we actually use a key for that, and we use these keys here, or these buttons here, to control the power. And there is no key thing. We actually just use this push button as the starter.
Clear! 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 Clear!
Kind of neat. This is the Aspen 1000. Shout out to Aspen Avionics. Thanks, folks. This item is a fantastic piece of equipment. As you can see up top, it gives us our artificial horizon. And here we have our compass headings telling us what direction we're flying in theory. We could also use these things for that. There will be an upgrade. Talk about that in just a second. This is our altimeter, tells us the altitude that we're at. And this is our vertical speed indicator, which tells us how fast we're going up or down. And this is where things get kind of cool. This is our autopilot. And a lot of times the aircraft, general aviation aircraft, don't have an autopilot. And we use the Trio Pro Pilot. And hey, again, shout out to Trio Pro Pilot for this fantastic autopilot for us. It's a 2-axis autopilot. Basically, we could get this set up to just fly along, hit points, waypoints, and the plane will make the turns for us. The only thing we really need to manage is the throttle. This is the CGR30P, which is our fuel management system, and we use that to monitor the engine. Right here, the cylinder heads, we see the volts, the fuel remaining, RPMs, and the flow rates. This is a fantastic piece of equipment. This is an old direction finding piece of equipment. We'll be getting rid of that. We'll be getting rid of this because we don't need it anymore. We do have our interior light kit, which is kind of cool. This is an aftermarket thing, pretty neat. Right here is the Garmin 430W. We use this to manage, it's our GPS system, and it also happens to be 2 of our radios. It's trying to find satellites, but we're in the hangar, so it's not going to see them. This is another old piece of equipment we're getting rid of, this ADF. We just don't use it anymore, so we're going to send it on its way. This is the transponder that gives us ADS-B out, which is important, and it also tells us, and that's to tell us people where we are, where we're coming, where we're going. This will be remaining. The Garmin will be remaining. The audio panel will be going right here, and the other radio will also be going inside this panel here, and everything will be flush mounted, which will be beautiful. Right here, we have some old dial gauges. So we have the amps, which is being monitored actually here, so we don't use this too often. The oil temperature, the oil pressure, and the fuel pressure. And these are all available on the other screens, but sometimes an old-fashioned dial, that's the best way to do it. This is the switch for the ELT that we have, and we have the new 406 ELT, and this is the manual switch to arm everything. This is an empty pocket here. This is a glove compartment where right now we keep batteries and a spare flashlight and pens and that type of thing. We're gonna organize that a bit better, and we'll have some stuff in there. These are actual fuses that we're getting rid of. These will be replaced with circuit breakers, which I cannot wait to do. That's going to be glorious. And as you see along, we have all these more radio buttons and things, the park brake, the cabin heat. In this airplane, the cabin heat is incredible. Nice. We have a bunch of lights we'll talk about later on. And of course, our yokes, will be getting the new to us yokes with the new pads and everything in there. Intercom system will be getting replaced, and these will actually be plugged in right into the system there, so it'll be hardwired in. If you can believe it, our radios, our ability to speak on the radios, are powered by this 9-volt battery. That is not a pain in the rear end at all, and I'm being very sarcastic if you're hearing any of that. So what we've done is we're getting rid of this piece of equipment. It does what we need it to do, but we're going to get a really good solid one. Right here is our flaps, and then we have our trim tab right here as well. Is right here we have our suction mount for our Sentry equipment, which gives us ADS-B in. All of these items allow us to be able to see out and see all the other people that are also transmitting, and that's a pretty big advantage for safety. So we're pretty lucky that way. We have our paper checklist with us, but to be completely honest, they're pretty rarely used. A unique feature about this aircraft is the fuel management system. So in Cessnas, the aircraft has a setting that you can put it where you can go and put the fuel so that it'll draw from both the tanks at the same time. We don't have that in this aircraft. So we have to remember that all the time. It's always left, right, or off. So we never want to hit off. So how do we mitigate that? We think about fuel all the time, but we also have a reminder set into our GPS that goes off every 20 minutes to remind us to get the fuel switch to tanks. But no one ever forgets that. What else are we doing? Let's have a look. This canopy switch, if you see this arm here, this is actually broken. So we're going to replace this plastic piece here, because I suspect that the reason this is sticking out, because it wasn't before, is because it was able to get around that metal bar there, and that plastic was broken. So we'll replace that. We'll very likely replace the locking mechanism. And things like this are going to be fun, because this is where we're going to put our GoPro cameras so that we can capture all of the cool moments that are happening. In the back of the aircraft, it is shockingly large. You can't really tell right now, but we can fold these seats down and we get 6 feet of room all the way front to back. It's impressive. This aircraft is in really great shape considering it was built in 1976. So these are all the parts. Now, one of the other things I forgot to mention is going to happen is this plastic piece here. This is also going to go away. We'll be replacing this with a brand spanking new panel because a lot of the equipment that we're not using here will be going away. I also forgot to mention that the USB-C, USB-A plugins, the ports will be going in, one on the pilot side, one on the co-pilot side, and of course in the yokes, the new to us yokes, will have push-to-touch buttons on the sides for both the pilot and the co-pilot. It is very significant what will be happening to this aircraft. Plus the pilot seat, I'll get on the other side here. The thing about the pilot seat is that the seat rails don't sit perfectly aligned, so that we're not able to lock it in the spot where most of the pilots at our height levels want the seat to be. So we're working to get that fixed out as well. Yeah, so that's the interior of the aircraft. And it's a funny thing about the inside of that airframe, because a lot of people often would rather sit in the back seat. It's so spacious, it's so comfortable. And a lot of times that's not the case for small airplanes. And this airplane is special, and everyone says that. And we're excited to send her on her way, but it's kind of bittersweet. Before we get ready to go, let's get her ready to go for that flight. And why don't you come with me for that trip? That one last flight, that's going to be special. I'm looking forward to that. I really hope the weather holds out. We're kind of in a weird window. We'll see how that works.
A polar vortex brings parts of Canada to a bone-chilling standstill. A massive snowstorm cancels flights and plans.
I'm kind of concerned. Has anyone seen Chester? He ran off when I was taking the airplane away, and I don't know what to do. I've been looking around for him. What? Oh. Chester, what are you doing there?